Trigger warning. Topics in this episode discuss anxiety, depression, and suicide. Please feel free to not watch if you are triggered by this. Hello, friends.
Just staring at dissociating.
Welcome back.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great.
Oh, I was asking them.
I know.
Not you.
I know.
I already know you're great.
I am pretty okay. Ask me tomorrow.
I'm actually not okay at all. I'm actually going through a lot.
I'm actually really distressed. Yesterday I was distressed. Today I'm okay.
Yesterday was okay. The day before was not okay. It fluctuates a lot on whether I'm okay and whether I'm not okay. There was literally a minute ago that I was like, maybe I'm not okay. You know, comes and goes.
That's depression.
Yeah. And I hate text messages from people right now.
Like, you ignore them.
Yeah. I ignore a lot of them, or if I get one, I'll read it and then I'm stressed, or then the intrusive thoughts, and then I'm like, don't text me. I'm overwhelmed. Because now I'm thinking like that, and I don't want that.
You don't want that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Deep breaths. It's okay.
I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not even like anything happening, because I've done everything that I can up to this point. It's either things that are out of my control that I can't do, or intrusive thoughts.
That's just anxiety.
Those are like the two major things. I hate waiting on people, and I feel like I'm waiting on people all the time right now. Because it's like government stuff that like I have to like wait to do.
Yeah.
And I can't do anything about it.
So you're just like a sitting duck.
Yeah. And that stresses me out. And then just like if people text me something and it's like slightly not what they would usually text,
you're like, oh, they hate me?
Yeah. That's where my brain is at currently.
You need to distract yourself.
Yeah, which I do most of the time. But yeah, basically, like, the intrusive thoughts will be like, oh, like, somebody's, like, slightly off, and then I'm like, oh, they hate me, or, like, somebody will message me something, and I'm like, oh, I bet they like this person better than me, or, like,
yeah,
like, it's the smallest things, and then my brain just, like, spirals, and it's, like, things that these people, like, wouldn't even
do in their lifetime.
But my brain tells me that they're going to do those things.
Yeah, that's mental health for you.
Yeah, and it's super irrational, and it really frustrates me, and I'm really learning. I'm getting, I think, a lot better at intercepting it when it happens. So, like, immediately when the thought comes into my brain, I'm like,
that's
no, not real. Yeah, and I just immediately like, no. Like, I just try and, like, dismiss it.
You have to rationalize it, or else it's just gonna stay like that.
Yeah. So I'm getting better, I think. And then it'll, like, you know when you feel it, like, creeping back in?
Yeah.
And you're starting to think about it again, and you're like, no. It did it. You have to, like, check it. It's work in progress.
Yeah, my therapist told me, she's like, just as soon as you hear the thought in your head, just go, no.
Out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that helps me.
That helps me too.
Yeah. You kind of just have to talk to it like you would a bully.
Yeah.
But, like, it's hard.
It's hard because it's in your head.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally yourself doing it to yourself.
Before I was diagnosed with anxiety, I thought I had schizophrenia.
Because you hear it.
Because the voice in my head was so loud.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm not well.
Yeah.
I don't want to say crazy because I don't want to associate that with schizophrenia.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm
mentally not well.
I'm not mentally well. Because I thought it was... Because it's not my own voice.
Yeah.
I should also say that.
Yeah.
It's someone else's.
Interesting.
I don't know who it is, but apparently it's quite normal for people with ADHD.
Yeah.
It's someone else's voice.
Yeah.
It's like another...
See, mine
thing.
is my own voice. Like, because, like, when you think about things, you think about them in a voice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when I'm, like, going throughout my day and I have stuff to do, that's my own voice, but it's the negative ones.
Oh, yeah, no, it's all my voice.
Oh,
it's
all her.
all my voice. It's really...
It's a lot.
Yeah, and then I also can picture things in my head.
What do you mean?
So, like, if the voice in my head, so it's myself saying things to myself, I can picture the scenarios that it's talking about in my head.
Same.
Yeah. So it'll be like, oh yeah, no, this person wants you to do this, or
it's
this
called,
person.
Maladaptive daydreaming.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah. And then, like, sometimes it's like the voices. It's my voice, but it's overlapping each other. So it'll be like,
so it sounds when like a radio.
When it gets like too much and I'm spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen, like, in a movie where somebody's like getting overwhelmed, and you'll hear, like, different, like, their mom saying something, their dad saying something, their sister saying something, all at once? It's like that, but it's my own voice saying shitty things to me. That's what it feels like inside my head.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah. So, yeah. That hasn't been happening as often, but that's happened to me of recent quite a few times, and I haven't had it, like, that bad ever. Like, my mental health has been the worst it's ever been, over especially, like, New Year's.
Yeah.
And Christmas is rough, too. It just, like, met its peak at New Year's, which was rough, because I was away in a house with friends, and I think people did the best they could to help with it. But it was hard. I didn't even know what was going on at first. They didn't know exactly how to help, but I think, like, they did a very good job. But yeah, like, basically we wanted to give you guys, like, an anxiety update and kind of how it's been, because I personally have dealt with, like, new stuff that I've never dealt with before. And it's been the worst it's ever been. And now I feel like I've reached the peak. Who knows? But
can it get worse?
I feel like I had reached the peak, and now we're on a decline. And obviously that's not a linear thing.
No.
But I feel like I'm on a decline, so I feel like I can talk about it more rationally now.
Yeah.
How have you been feeling with it?
Like, anxiety-wise?
Yeah.
I think over the years, anyway, my anxiety has gotten less intense.
Okay, nice.
Especially recently because I'm medicated.
Yeah.
But, like, my anxiety stems right now from, like, finance.
Yeah.
Kind of like the unknown of that.
Yeah.
Also, recently, I got on the subway last Monday. It was early week. And I was getting anxiety about going on the subway.
Oh, and that hasn't happened
in, like, months.
Yeah.
Maybe more. Like, oh my God, like, when I was in high school, I'd get anxiety going into, like, a crowded mall.
Yeah.
Like, it was really bad.
Yeah.
And I think it's because, like, everyone's looking at you when you get on the subway station, and then you're thinking the worst.
Yeah.
And that hasn't happened for a very long time since I moved to Toronto. It was terrible last week.
Wow.
And I think it's just, like, elevated stress that's coming from the whole panorama.
Yeah, like other places.
Backwards, and, like, me still having to work at a really busy fucking mall.
Yeah.
And it's stressful.
Yeah.
Because, like, right now at work, it's really stressful because of the cut hours. So maybe, like, that was why I was, like, because I was going to work.
Yeah. Usually, like, it stems from other things going on, I find. Yeah. It's
weird.
It's also, like, we just came out of... It's almost like a shock to your body to go from being busy all the time, not sleeping very much, seeing people all the time, buying gifts, like when you go from the chaos of Christmas and New Year's and stuff like that to nothing afterwards,
it's quite drastic.
It's a very drastic shock to the body, and it's such like a change, especially for somebody with ADHD. And on the spectrum, like, change like that is hard. Like, it's such like a drastic change for the normal, for like, not normal, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
For the average person. So then to like have those things on top of that makes it more intense. Yeah.
Like, it's a lot. And I was saying yesterday, like, I was really affected by change that was happening at work.
Yeah.
Because as someone who has ADHD and is on the spectrum, I don't do very well with sudden change, so I was overwhelmed and I was crying at work.
Yeah.
And I think now that every time I go into work, I keep linking it to stress and, like, change.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing a lot of different jobs at work right now because we have less hours.
Yeah.
So it's more on my plate and not more money. So it's really fucking stressful. And then I don't know if it's anxiety per se, or it's just me being, like, overwhelmed and, like, just my average ADHD.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably both.
Like, I never know. Because
probably
ADHD is such an umbrella.
Yeah.
There's so many different fucking issues I have.
Yeah.
When it comes to, like my mental health.
Yeah.
So I can never pinpoint it.
Yeah. Usually, like, I would say before, up until Christmas, I've been having a hard time with just everything because, like, I've just been so busy. And then I think it was, like, at the beginning of December or, like, around there, I had, like, a mild little, like, meltdown.
Yeah.
And I was, like, with Judah, and we talked about it, and I felt like I had more of a hold on it after that, like, conversation. So that was, like, better. And then things really ramped up the last 3 weeks of December.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I have an IUD currently that I got in at the beginning of December. Now, when you get an IUD, you can't just, like, stop taking your other birth control right away. You have to keep taking it because it takes, like, a bit for your body to get used to the IUD. So I had to keep taking my pill, which has progestin and estrogen in it. Meanwhile, the IUD just has progestin, for 3 weeks. So I was taking that all the way up till the week of New Year's. So up until essentially, like, we were leaving, well, the week that we were leaving for New Year's, I was still on the pill that whole time. So that was whatever, but my body has been kind of strange as well, just because, like, I've still been spotting that whole time and stuff like that because of the IUD. So my body's getting used to what's going on with it, with the hormones and stuff like that. So then through December, I felt like, although it was, like, a lot happening and overwhelming, I didn't get to do a lot of things that I like to do during December, which was kind of sad.
Like, tradition-wise?
Like, tradition-wise, but also just, like, in general. Like, I didn't really play video games much. I didn't really take time to watch movies. I think I watched, like, a handful of Christmas movies this year.
We didn't watch, like, any.
Yeah, because, like, I was working all the time, and if we weren't working, we were uploading podcasts, or I was doing personal training, or I was editing videos for Daddy's Kitchen, or we were moving Judah's family. Like, there was just so many things going on that I did not have time to do anything that I enjoyed doing. Like, it was even hard to be like, oh, I need to shower. Like, it's been a week. I need to, like, because girls have like different types of showers. So like there's like the daily shower where you just like go in and wash your body and like, yeah. And like you do that daily. And then there's like the weekly showers where like you go in, you wash your hair, you like exfoliate, shave. And then there's the monthly showers, at least now that I have my hair done, where you like do a hair mask, do a face mask, like literally like cleanse your whole body from the tip of your toe to the top of your head, like deep clean everything, like shave everything if that's your thing, like. So that happens like monthly, and like I was finding like it was even hard to find that time. I didn't get to work out much, like even in December either, and that's when gyms were still open. So it was just a lot. Like,
you didn't really have much time to breathe.
No, I had no time to breathe. And then even like with Judah and I, either we were together doing stuff or moving, or we weren't seeing each other.
Yeah.
Like, and especially like the last few weeks, we weren't really on Discord at all. We weren't playing games together. We weren't watching anything together. We didn't get the first moment in a month that we had just the two of us was when he dropped me back here for New Year's after we came home.
That was it.
That was the first time that we had just the two of us in a month. Because the whole rest of the time we were either like around his family, or we were at a Christmas thing, or like, you know what I mean? So, or we were with friends for New Year's. So obviously we got a little bit of time at New Year's to be in a room together, just the two of us, when we were going to bed, but that was it.
Yeah.
So we hadn't seen each other, just us. And in a relationship, that's very important. So although leading up to New Year's, I'd started to feel really just sad. Like, I was just sad all the time. And you also
get seasonal depression.
Yeah. And I was just sad. And then the, like, deep sadness that I would feel would then be triggered with something anxious. And then that's what would cause the panic attacks.
And you would just spiral.
Yeah, and I would just spiral, and it was bad. And then, like, I had, like, a couple of those leading up to New Year's. But, like, I've had panic attacks before, not on this level, had I had them, but I had them before, and I was like, okay, well, it's okay, like, I'm by myself, like, I can handle it, like, although it might take a bit of time, I would work through it, come out of it, whatever. It was just very draining because I had so much other stuff going on to, like, also be dealing with that. So I was just, like, tired all the time. But then because we didn't really have, like, any time, the two of us, I didn't really get the opportunity. I was also figuring out what was going on. So I didn't really get the opportunity to tell him what was going on. And then New Year's happened. Which came full force for me. Like, I like all the people that went and everything. Like, it has nothing to do with the people that went or where we were or anything like that. It was just the fact that I had no space, really, to process anything. And then on top of that, I couldn't process anything. Like, initially I also was like, I couldn't understand why it was so intense when they would happen. And then through talking with a friend, it was like, oh, I just quit my birth control, like, this week.
Yeah.
So my body is not...
It's still adjusting.
It's still adjusting to everything happening. And once I figured out what was causing it to be so intense, it helped. But then I didn't know how to solve it. Which is also another thing. Like, then that makes me anxious, which makes me spiral.
Because then when you notice that you have anxiety in the moment and you're like, oh, fuck, this is like an anxiety attack, then you get anxiety about the fact that you're having
an anxiety attack.
And you don't know how to make it go away.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I'm with people, and I'm like, I don't want these people to be, like, impeded by the fact that I'm having a panic attack or I'm feeling anxious. Like, I don't want to ruin their time, so then you're anxious about that. And then... Yeah, it's really, like, it's really awful. Like, so then, like, there was a few times where, like, people could tell that I was off, and they'd be like, are you okay? And, like, depending on the timing or the person, I would just be like, yeah, no, I'm fine. But then other times I'd be like, oh, I'm just feeling, like, really anxious right now. And then, like, sometimes Judah would be like, do you want to, like, go take a break? And I was like, sometimes that's good. Usually it's good. But then again, like, I'm pulling him away, like, every time.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to do that either. So, like, yeah, it was just rough. I had, like, the 2 worst panic attacks, especially one of them, that I've ever had in my life. And I straight up just, like, could not stop it. Like, the second one that I had, it was on the 1st. I think it was on the 1st. Yeah, because we came home on the 2nd. So, New Year's Day... I had the worst panic attack.
Was that the one in the bathroom?
Yeah, of my life.
Yeah.
Both of them were in the bathroom. All of them were in the bathroom. Because I go to the bathroom because people
to isolate
can't...
yourself.
Yeah. Because then people can't just, like... There's, like, an etiquette there where people, like, don't just walk in.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you could go to a bedroom, but I feel like... Because I also shared that bedroom with Judah... Like, he would probably
that
just...
That is true.
Like,
I feel like the bathroom is the perfect place to
plus,
have a
there's a lock on the door.
Yeah.
So, worst comes to worst, you just lock the door. So, literally nobody can come in. So, which is unsafe
dangerous
at times. But, like, I really was like, I can't be around people right now.
Yeah.
And then I, like, went upstairs to the bathroom. And... like, somebody did come up and check on me and ask if I was okay. But at the time, like... She just wasn't the person that I needed at the time. So I said, yeah, no, I'm fine. And I was upstairs for a while. Like, I was upstairs for a while in this bathroom. And I just, the thoughts just kept going and going. And it got to the point, like I was saying to one of my best friends, she was there. And she ended up being the one that came up to help me. And at the time, like... she was the best person to be there for me. And I really reached out to her because I was desperate at that point because I couldn't stop. Like, I could not get it to stop, and I didn't know what to do because I was really...
So overwhelmed.
Like, the thoughts just kept going to the point, and I told her this. I'm saying what's going on in my head out loud to myself. Yeah. And they're not good things. Like, they're bad things. And I'm saying it out loud as if it's true when they're not true. They're not factual things. It's my brain being irrational. But I'm so deep in the spiral that it's literally physically coming out when I'm talking to myself. Yeah. Saying that it is true. And it had gotten to that point, and I was like, I can't get it to stop. Like, I didn't know what else I could do to get it to stop. And I felt super nauseous. My legs were numb. Like, I physically was not doing great. I was, like, of course, crying, as I do in general. So I was, of course, bawling. And then just, like, the thoughts would not stop.
Go away.
Yeah. And then eventually, like, I was like, I need to leave. I need to get out of this house. And I need to go. And I knew if I just left, everybody would be like, where are you going? What's going on? So I didn't want that either. Yeah. I didn't want to draw attention. So I just asked Shannon to come up. And I was like, can you just come up? Or I was like, can we go for a walk? I think I said. And then she, like, came up, knocked on the door. And then I didn't want to open the door, but I knew I had to open the door because I didn't know how else to stop this from happening. Yeah. And then I opened the door, and she was just like, are you okay? And I was like, bro, no. Like, I'm not okay. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I'm not okay. And then she really helped me, like, calm down. mainly through breathing.
Yeah.
And then I had started to say the things that were going on in my head to her, and she was like, that's not real. She was like, that's not factual. Like, so having somebody else be like, that's not real, or that's not factual, or people don't think that.
Yeah.
Like, or, and then she was like, reaffirming in that, like, she would be like, you know this, or you know this person feels this about you, or you know you're not this, as your brain is saying. Like, and then, like, she just kept saying, like, those things while helping me breathe. And that's the only thing
that brought you out of it.
That brought me out of it.
Do you think that if you had been by yourself, it would have gone completely different?
I don't know, because I don't know if it would have happened if I had been by myself.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, I think part of the reason
like the pressure
was
of everything kind of got you overwhelmed.
Yeah, I think it, like, I might have had a panic attack by myself, because, like, that happens to me as well.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would have been as intense if I was, like, home alone by myself. Yeah. Or, like, if I was with, like, one person. But because, like, there was, like, a group there, it was, like, a lot more, like, pressure. And yeah, it was just like a lot. It had been building for so long, and then I think another reason, like I said, why it was so intense was the hormones going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was probably like a mixture of everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you just like broke
and like
down.
Leading up to that too, like I like drinking makes my anxiety worse, and I had been drinking. Because it's New Year's. Yeah. So, and it didn't used to. Like, I used to not have that problem. Literally over New Year's, I realized that was making it worse. And then, at least right now. And then on top of that, like, I wasn't sleeping. So, like, we would, like, go to bed, and everybody would go to bed and be like, good night, and it'd be late. As you do when you're away with friends. It would be late and everybody would go to bed, and then, like, the first night I was okay. The next 2 nights I was like, I would, like, go to bed initially, and then when Judah would go to fall asleep, I'd be like, okay, like, I'm just gonna, like, I'm not tired, like, I'm gonna go downstairs for a bit. So when nobody else was awake, I would just, like, go downstairs and sit by myself and be on my phone, or, like, do whatever, like, for the time being. And I would be up late, like 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, until I would finally go out to bed. And then, like, we're up again. We would sleep in, but, like, I definitely was up earlier then, because, like, if other people are awake, I'm not really just gonna stay in bed. So then I would get up and be with everybody the next day as well. So yeah, I think, like, not sleeping, also, like, you're not eating the same things that you would regularly eat. Like, you're kind of eating, like, trash, because there's, like, a lot of junk food there, too. I was drinking, like, that all mixed in with the fact that, like, I haven't worked out in a month. I haven't, like, been eating properly. Like, I've been working, like, nonstop, and also not sleeping properly the whole month before. And my hormones are out of whack. And literally everything. Literally everything. The fact that I hadn't been, like, I barely spent any time with you. I barely spent any time, like, one-on-one with Judah. Yeah. Like, the combination of all those things had led to this point. And it was just the point that I couldn't hold it together any longer.
I think it is good, though, that you had that with a bunch of people around you, honestly. Because, like, say, God forbid, anything else happened anyway. Yeah. You were still with a bunch of people, and you had people to help you. Like, Shannon helped you.
Yeah.
Like, a ton.
Yeah.
And she helped you pull you out of that space.
Yeah. And, like, since that conversation, everything else has been better since then. Maybe not progressively getting better,
but
like,
it's getting better.
But it's getting better. Like, there's ups and downs, but it is getting better.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it was.
No, like, I haven't been at that point since, and I wasn't at that point before. It's just, like, that was the worst point.
Yeah, and it's when you go through something like that, it's hard to pull yourself out of.
And I've never, ever been that far gone.
Yeah.
Like, I've always been able to pull myself out of it. It might take a while, but I've always been able to pull myself out of it.
Do you think also because you've been to therapy, you were kind of better at handling the situation?
I think so, but, like, in that moment, like, I couldn't even
Everything was out the window.
Everything was out the window. Like, I couldn't even, like, it was wild, the stuff that I was, like, thinking and saying, and then, like, how I was reacting to it was also just, like, wild to me.
Yeah.
I thought I was, like, I'm not doing this to, like, hate on anybody who's suffering, but I thought I was going crazy.
Yeah, like you were losing it.
Like, I thought I was going to have to go into a hospital.
Well, because the thoughts are so unbelievably irrational.
Yeah.
And they're so loud to the point where you think, oh, well, then they must be real.
Yeah.
Like, I must be actually insane at this point.
No, I genuinely thought, and not only that, but, like, when you're around the people that you care about, you don't think they care about you.
Yeah.
You think they are actively going against you. Like, I genuinely, the thoughts that were going on in my head, I was like, they don't give a fuck about me. And, like, it's so awful to think about now, because now I can rationalize it. But any little thing that would happen there, no, they don't care about me. They hate me. I'm the reason as well. Like, it's not anything they did. Unless, like I said, like, if they said something that I wasn't, like, sure about, like, that wasn't exactly what they, like, would usually say or something like that, immediately you go to, oh, they hate me. They don't care about me.
You can't think of anything otherwise in that situation.
No.
Like, it's crazy to me that some people who don't experience anxiety are like, oh, well, just don't think that. Or, like, that's not real.
You can't.
But you can't because you're so immersed in the negative thoughts that they're becoming your reality in that moment.
Yeah.
And you can't get out of it.
And it's like I said, it's things that these people wouldn't do in a lifetime that I would think that they were doing or going to do or thinking. And, like, there's no chance in a lifetime. Like, rationally, there's no possibility ever that these people would think or do or whatever. But that's what's going on inside my head. Yeah. So then, and I haven't had it like that to that point before. Like, most of the time it's like, oh, they hate me or they don't care
just
about me.
Anxiety.
Like the regular. Yeah. And then that, like, I know how to pull out. But this was like deep thought out things that I thought that they were purposely doing.
Yeah. Well, I think you were at that point experiencing, like, a panic attack mixed with a depressive episode.
Yeah.
Mixed with hormonal issues. Yeah. And stress.
Yeah.
So, like, put all that together.
Yeah.
You're not going to do well.
Yeah.
No one will.
Yeah. It was and, like, when I think back to it now, like I said, like, I can rationalize it now. So it seems so wild to me. But then at the same time, it feels like I can feel what it feels like. Like, I remember what it feels like to be mentally in it. But it also doesn't feel like it was me that it had. Like, I'm like, but that's not me. Like, I don't do that. Like, I'm not like that. But it was me.
Yeah, it's quite crazy how the mind works.
It's so wild to think about.
Like, if you think about it, like, when I tried to unalive myself back in 2016, the next morning I was like, well, that was a bit all for nothing, wasn't it? I was being a bit much because my mind was so.
Because now you're rationally thinking about it. Because the next morning I'm
like, oh well, that thing like that happened, the thoughts that I was thinking isn't true.
Yeah.
Like at all, but also I was alone. Like I was by myself on res.
Yeah.
So like I didn't have anyone to like bounce my negative thoughts off of.
Yeah.
And get advice in the moment anyway.
Yeah. I think I knew, like, in the moment, too, at least, like, I was able to think enough for myself to be like, it's not okay for me to be by myself right now. Yeah. Like, there was a level there that of me protecting myself in messaging Shannon when I did.
Which is important.
Yeah, and I've told her since, I was like, I don't know what would have happened if you didn't come up.
Yeah, because you never know.
Like, because it was bad. Like I said, I've never been like that.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Deep in it as that. And I've had many a panic attacks, let me tell you. Like, I have had so many. I've had them in crowded places. I've had them here at home by myself. I've had
airplanes.
Trains. Yeah, literally. Yeah, I've had them many times, many places for many different reasons. And this was the worst I've ever
like
had.
in the game, like when you meet the final boss.
This was the final boss. If there's something worse than this,
I think it's hell.
I don't want to meet it. Like, I'm quitting the game now then. Like,
I don't want to go.
Yeah. It was pretty intense. And then, like, I really just took a break after that from everyone and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I had to go back to work for a couple days. And then Dougie announced that we were going back, and then I was like, fuck!
Yeah.
Like, I was freaking out. Thankfully, like, also, I will say, like, it doesn't happen as often if I'm distracted. I think that's part of the reason why I'm a workaholic.
Which is so unhealthy.
I think that's really a huge reason, like, we're becoming more self-aware.
Yeah.
And I'm really realizing that the reason I work so much is because it distracts me so much from my anxiety and depression.
Because then when you're by yourself and you don't have any distractions at that point, then
even for a split second, if I'm not distracted, it's happening. And like right now, especially because it's so intense, like I'm like, no, I can't. I need something to do, something to distract myself. And like, I do lots of different things now. Like, I would say, like, before I used to just do work.
Yeah.
Now it's, like, video games on my phone, TikTok.
You've got other stuff that you can do.
Yeah, I've got other stuff that's beside, like, not just work, but not having work right now is making it
a little harder.
Because I have to find things to do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then, like, obviously, like, anybody who knows about depression, like, you sleep a lot, like, you don't necessarily want to get up in the morning, you don't want to go to sleep at night, like, you don't want to do anything, like, everything besides, like, the work stuff, everything feels like the biggest chore ever, like.
That's why even sometimes I avoid washing my hair.
Yeah, and then, like, afterwards, like, after you do it, like, you might feel good, but you're also exhausted.
Yeah.
Because it took so much energy to get to that point. You're just like, now I just want to sleep.
Yeah. Even putting off laundry.
Oh my god, how long did my laundry fucking sit there?
Yeah.
How long?
A good week,
maybe more. While. I got home literally January 2nd, and I just did my laundry a couple days ago.
Yeah, but it happens.
Yeah. So that's what's been going on recently. It's been pretty intense. Now, for you, have you felt like you feel like it's been better than what it has been in the past? Like, you've been managing it better.
Yeah.
But you still cried at work the other day. I don't know if you want to talk about it or
I
not.
might actually share it.
Okay.
Because, like, I feel like it's important.
And then I figure, like, after that we can talk about what's helping.
Is anything helping? Well, I did cry yesterday at work.
Yeah.
But because, like I mentioned before, I'm not great with change.
Yeah.
Anyway. And it's been really stressful at work lately, and something happened where one of my higher-ups came into my space, rearranged the whole fucking thing. Mm-hmm. Like, anyone who knows me, I have a certain way I do things. Like, even in my morning routine, I wake up at a certain time, I do my makeup within this certain time frame. I have time frames.
Yeah.
It's just how I work. I literally pee at a certain time in the morning.
Oh.
Like, I'm very particular about my time slots.
Yeah.
Just the way I am. So, I don't react to change very well. And when this higher up came in the back and she rearranged literally fucking everything, I lost it. Not with her, because, like, I want to keep my job. But, because also the people at work, they don't really know that I have ADHD.
Yeah.
And because I never want to make a big deal about it, which is another discussion. And so I came back, so everything was changed. Everything was in different spots. And then I was like, because she was like, do you like it? Like, doesn't it look so much better? And to be fair, it looked clean and nice. But when I say everything was different, everything was fucking different. She even took the labels off of what I wrote.
Oh.
And I love my labels.
Yeah.
So I was like, And she's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I have to go to the washroom. I cried in there for...
See what I mean? The bathroom.
Yeah.
It's the safe space when you're panicking.
I got on the floor, fetal position, cried for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Heard a knock on the door. And I was like, uh-huh. And it was my coworker. She's like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just pooping.
Because it's better than telling them you're having a panic attack.
She's like, okay. Yeah, and then I came out, was fine, acted like nothing was wrong. Really unhealthy.
Yeah.
Probably, looking back at it, I should have explained how I was very unhappy with the situation, but because, like, you know, when your boss is above you, you can't really think that you have any right to say anything.
Yeah.
And it would have just looked like I was overreacting, because she was only trying to help.
Yeah, but you're entitled to feel how you want to feel about it.
Yeah. So then that was really difficult yesterday, and I just had a really shitty day at work, because then that put my whole mood off.
Yeah.
And stuff like that happens a lot at work, when they change a bunch of stuff and they don't let me know.
Do you think it would save a lot if they were to just tell you before they did it?
Yeah.
So, do you think it might be good to tell them?
Yes.
That you have ADHD and that if they could just run things by you?
Yeah,
before
probably.
they change things?
Like, my coworkers know that I have ADHD, so they know not to, like...
Yeah.
But it's...
The higher ups.
The higher ups.
Because, like, I feel like even if... Like I said, like, if she had just come to you and been like, hey, I'm just letting you know I'm changing, like, a bunch of things in the back... and we can, like, go over it and see how you like it tomorrow. But I just wanted to let you know so you're not kind of, like, caught off guard when you come in.
Yeah.
Way different than just walking in and seeing everything different.
I know. So. I should have done that, and I will say something eventually.
Yeah. I think it would make a big difference if they just knew, especially, like, sometimes they call and text you, and I'm like, bro, don't answer it. You're not on the clock. Don't answer it. Like, I'm like, why are you answering
Lately,
it?
I haven't been
messaging
me.
But, like, that's the thing. Like, even if you don't message back, at least they've sent the message for you to see.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's that hard, considering they message about everything else. Like, they don't need to call you. Literally just send a message and be like, hey, by the way...
Yeah,
we're just changing
like the
this up.
texting at like 11 at night.
Yeah, I don't know. Literally,
I don't respond anymore.
Yeah.
Because I have my notifications on, like my do not disturb.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not fucking responding. I'll see it tomorrow, and then I'll respond when I'm waking up.
Yeah. Yeah.
On my way to work.
Yeah.
Because it's just too much.
Yeah.
I also have a bad time at advocating for myself.
Yeah.
And recently I spoke up and I talked about my hours being cut, which I am proud of myself that I said something. And I stood up for myself.
Yeah.
But I still need to say something.
Yeah. And I don't think it needs to be like a whole, like...
shebang.
Like, well, when what's-her-name did this, it caused me to do this, and blah, 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 and it's this big of a deal, like, blah, blah, blah. Or literally just being like, next time... if things are going to be changed just because I have my own stuff going on, it kind of stresses me out. So if you could just run it by me and, like, let me know that you're going to do that, I do, like, way better with that.
I know, it's an easy solution.
It's just, but I understand why it's hard. Like, even, like, I don't have a problem with confrontation usually. With certain people I do, but, like, with my boss... definitely not. Let me tell you, the reason my work closed is because I brought it up with my boss. Because, some people got sick, as I said, and we weren't told about it.
Which is illegal.
Which is illegal. So I found out about it through somebody else because they got sick and then had to go and get tested. Thankfully, everybody I directly worked with did not get sick. This was also another reason why I did so many rapid tests over the last little bit. Like I did one for Christmas, I did one for New Year's, and then one when I came back from New Year's.
Yeah.
So that's also another reason why I was doing them, because I was working in the same building as people who were sick, but I wasn't working directly alongside those people, and I had no symptoms. But there were people that I worked with who had symptoms and had to go and get a PCR test and things like that. Where's it? Oh, yeah. So then I was like, where was I going with this? But my boss didn't tell anybody. And then, mind you, the other boss at the place that I work within also didn't tell her about them. So I cut her like a little bit of slack. However, when she did hear the rumors about this and find out about this, she still did not check into it to find out about it and still did not tell us about it. So it was like days went by where we just like didn't know this was a thing. So I found out about it and I heard about it, and it just happened to be that the next day she came in to drop some stuff off. And she's always like, hi, how are you guys? Like, everything good? And I'm like, yeah, no, it's actually not good.
I haven't inquired.
And she's like, oh, okay, like, what's going on? And I was like, so why weren't we told that there were people at this place who got sick? And she was like, well, I wasn't told that, like, people got sick. And I was like, no, but I know you know that there's rumors that there's people that have gotten sick. So then she goes, she's like, yeah, well, nobody, like, told me directly, and I can't give you names because, like, that's private medical information. So I said, well, I'm not asking for names. I'm just saying that I think we need to know if somebody within the building that we work in is sick.
Yeah.
Or there are people that have tested positive. And she was like, well, technically we don't need to tell you unless you've been in direct contact with that person, like within 6 feet of them for longer than 15 minutes. So my response was, so I don't know what to call it.
Coochie virus.
Yes. So coochie virus waits 15 minutes? That was my question to her. She didn't not have an answer to that. So I said, I think we're entitled to know whether this is a thing or not. When it first happened, I was not working, so I don't know the procedures.
Yeah.
But I will be looking into the procedures of it. Because I don't feel safe working here now, considering I've now been around my 75-year-old grandmother and my boyfriend's parents who are at risk.
Yeah.
Because you didn't tell me that, I've now put them more at risk when I could have made the decision to not be around them during this time because people around me have tested positive. So I said, I think you can and then she was kind of like dancing around it, being like, oh, well, we're not at fault. But she wasn't saying, oh, well, we're not at fault kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, kind of being like, well, we've done what we were supposed to do, even though I don't think they did. She was kind of saying that, but kind of not. And then I was like, regardless, I have not been told things, and that has broken trust now with this location. And that's, like, what I said, because I was like, now, because I wasn't aware, I now am finding out from other people things. And then I said, I was like, would you not be nervous considering how quickly the cases are going up? Quebec's in. Would you not be worried? And she was just like, no, I understand. And she's like, I'm going to check with them before I leave and try and get an answer for you on everything ASAP. And I was like, thank you. Went back to work.
Thank you.
So immediately after she left, pretty much, and she walked over to the counter, and I heard, like, she was over there talking to the manager there, and the manager was, like, confirmed that they did have a few cases.
Yeah.
Or a few people get sick. I'm going to have to edit this in a way that it doesn't say things as much. But she confirmed it, and literally after my shift, I got home, there was a message saying that we were going to be closed the next day for the next week and a half.
Yeah.
Both, like, not just our cafe.
Both.
Our cafe and the gym I work out of. So everything was going to be closed. And I was like, because guaranteed they were supposed to tell us.
I think she probably just tried to hide it.
I think they tried to hide it so that they didn't have people being like, I don't want to come in.
Yeah.
Because we're already understaffed. But you can't do that. Like, that's literally illegal. So, therefore, they've now put all of us at risk going into work. And it wasn't our choice, like, because we didn't know about it. We weren't told about it.
Yeah.
So, we were just going in unknowingly, putting ourselves at more risk than what we thought. Thankfully, negative. But...
Still trash.
Still trash. So in that case, like would you feel comfortable standing up for yourself in that case?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, good. So just think of it like that.
Yeah.
Just try and think of it as like a non-negotiable thing, because it's not.
You have to girl boss.
Yeah.
You know?
But, like, just think of it as, like, a non-negotiable thing. Because it shouldn't be a negotiable thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's something you live with every single day.
And I know that, like, even when I was hired, they say on, like, the application, like, you can disclose any information, and I just literally didn't put anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I should have.
I mean, you don't have to, though.
I don't have to, but, like, it would help then if I needed any work accommodations.
Yeah, but I don't even think that's really a work accommodation. Like, you're going to tell... Like, it's one thing for, like, say I actually was losing my hearing. And I was like, oh, can we put a sign out saying that I'm losing my hearing and people need to speak up? Like, that's an accommodation.
Yeah.
Like, that's having to do something out of the norm. To be honest, if you work alongside people, there should be open communication anyway. People should be messaging you and being like, hey, by the way, because you run back room, maybe let me tell you if I'm going to change something back there. I know.
There. And they were freaking out because of a visit that was happening.
Which is fine.
Which is fine. But like, you need to run it by me.
They can still tell you when they're going to do shit.
Yeah. And there was like so many people back there and it was like really overwhelming. So I'm like, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Because it was way too much.
Yeah. I get why you didn't. But I think for the future.
Yeah, I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
So it will give me less anxiety at work.
Yeah. I think it'll help a lot. But like I said, we were going to segue into things that help. I would say that's one of the things that would help. Like, kind of putting those things in place.
Just like advocating for yourself.
Yeah.
When you do feel those emotions.
Yeah, and when when the first or second or third time happens, I would say try and do it one of those times. Like, I know there's a little bit of a fuzzy period there, but if you do it within the first few times, after that, it shouldn't be happening anymore, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like,
there's no excuse for that.
No.
If you've told somebody, like, hey, this is my boundary, and they're not respecting that,
see ya.
Peace out, motherfucker.
Yeah. I can't work for you anymore.
Yeah. So, and I feel like when it comes to your work in general, like you did with the shifts, like, you're very good at advocating in that sense. But you just have to think about it the same way when it comes to your mental health.
Yeah.
So,
because I always think that if I bring up something like that, they're not going to think it's like a quote-unquote real problem.
Yeah.
But that's because I've experienced stuff like that in the past.
Yeah.
Especially with school.
Yeah.
Not accommodating me, U of T. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I think U of T tries. I think it's the professors that don't.
Yeah. The professors don't care. And I do
don't
mean
give a
that
fuck.
wholeheartedly. They don't. Like not last year, when was it? St. George, a student unfortunately committed suicide. Because there's no mental health aid. And the whole school promises that, oh yeah, we have great aids in place, we have help. You don't.
Yeah.
Because, like, they didn't even help me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
I will say, I mean, I didn't have to deal with anything on that level while at Fanshawe, but I will say the professors there do, at least most of them, genuinely care about you. The ones that I dealt with. So shout out to Music and History Arts at Fanshawe College, because the professors that I dealt with were
great.
They were really great with me.
Yeah. I do find colleges are more tailored.
Well, that's part of the reason why I chose to go to college.
Because Sheridan College, great.
Yeah.
They had great, like, accommodations, and they were really, really helpful. Because I did both programs, U of T.
Yeah.
No. Not at all.
Yeah.
But what can you do?
Yeah. We had free counseling.
Damn.
Yeah. We had free counseling on campus. We had a helpline, and they had, like, all over the school those phones that you could call and have somebody, like, walk you to your car.
Oh yeah, we had those.
Yeah, or, like, even, like, I lived across the street, like, they would walk you to res or across the street if you needed. Obviously they can't go much further than that. Like, they can't take you all the way downtown or something like that.
Why don't you just make this a date?
Yeah, but, you know, like, things like that they had. Yeah, I actually think Fanshawe did a pretty good job when it came to that stuff. And, like, I don't know what the other programs are like, but the professors that I dealt with specifically were really good. Like, there was a program that I almost flunked because I thought I missed a midterm, and all it was a midterm and exam, and I missed a midterm because I thought it was the following week, because I was managing a full not managing, but I was doing all the marketing for a huge concert that we put on as a program, and I thought the midterm was the week after that. It was the week of that, so I missed it completely.
Yikes.
And then I went in the following week to take the midterm.
And he's like, you missed it.
Well, I went to take it online and couldn't access it. And I was like, what is going on? So I emailed and said, why can't, I can't access the midterm. It's just not here. And he was like, because it was last week. And I was like, what the heck? I was like, no way. Started freaking out. And thankfully, one of my professors in my program explained the situation with the concert that we were putting on. And that I was under a lot of stress with that. And that's why I got mixed up with the dates. And they immediately let me in to take it. And I ended up getting like an 80 on that midterm. So,
damn.
Yeah. So, considering
you thought you were going to flunk.
Yeah. Considering I thought I wasn't going to graduate because I was going to miss this credit.
Yeah, they are helpful.
Yeah. But yeah, like advocating for yourself is really good, and finding the resources that are available to you are good. Like, we can, with this episode, I'm hoping to like link some resources. One of them is called Open Path, that Judah gave to me, and it's, you pay $60 to have a membership for the rest of your life. And it's online, so you can change your therapist at any point. But you have to have a therapist like within your country. But the range of money, like the top amount that you can pay per session is something like $60.
That's good.
So it will never like change if you pay the $60 up front. You pay $60 to be a part of like their system. And then from there, like you can't go in and then like have a therapist like sit with you for like 5 sessions or whatever, and then be like, oh, by the way, like I've like taken on more people, or I've got more education, so now your price is going up to like $120. Like they can't do that. So this is like, it ranges from like $35 or something to $60.
That's really good for therapy.
Really good for therapy.
I was out here paying $120.
That's a lot.
She was great, but it's a lot.
Especially for people who work like minimum wage jobs.
Yeah.
So yeah, so just so we can link that, right? Yeah, so we can add that as a resource. OpenPath is great. Other things that have been helping me personally, when I'm having an episode, I open my phone and record myself where I can see myself, so I can see how I'm reacting, and then I talk it through out loud. So that also just like to have as documentation for, because I am doing the IUD stuff, I am supposed to be keeping track of like how it's making me feel. So the good days, the bad days, like things like that. So I just record myself, and I find it really helps me like work through, because like talking in general helps me work through things. So obviously I don't necessarily want to talk to somebody at a time, and there's most times not somebody who wants to talk to me or can talk to me. So it just like allows me to see how I'm reacting, and then also so visually, and then also like verbally work it out. So I just talk it through. Why I'm feeling that way. Is this reality? What is actually reality? Yeah. Things like that. So I've been doing that, and that seems to be helping a lot. Sometimes I just like in general feel like low or things like that. It's also fucking dark all the time.
Yeah, it's gross right now.
So sometimes I feel like that, and then I just like distract myself with like games or doing like I've been trying to work out at home and stuff like that, to kind of boost my mood. Just like doing at least one thing per day that I enjoy.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
Yeah. And then the last thing is just taking some time at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day to kind of regroup. I've been using the 5-minute journal. So at the beginning of the day when you wake up, it asks for 3 things that you're grateful for, 3 things that would make today great, and then a daily affirmation.
Yeah.
So I do that every morning, and then every night it's like before I go to bed, I use it again, and it's 3 things that like went well today, or that like were good today, and then something I learned today. You can also make like other notes if you want to. I don't usually do that.
Yeah.
But like you can usually like make notes like that if you want to. But I do that every morning and every night, and it's literally takes me 5 minutes or less.
And it really helps.
And it really helps, just like me regroup in the morning, recenter like my thoughts in the morning, and then also in the evening, before I go to bed. And I've been finding it helps me a lot before I go to sleep. And I'm actually like able to go to sleep. And then on top of that, like, what was the other thing to-do lists on my phone. So like I find I'm very forgetful when my brain is going a mile a minute all the time.
Yeah.
So I literally have been either typing a to-do list in my notes, or of recent, I voice memo myself before I go to bed.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'll like put a voice memo on and be like, to-do list for, what's the date? Today's the 13th, I think.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, voice memo for Thursday, January 13th. To-do list, and then I'll just like list off the things that I want to get done the next day. And like I'm not too hard on myself if I don't get something, like one of the things done on the list, or a few things not done on the list, but I'm like, these are the things that I need to get done for the following day. And it kind of like makes me not feel like I'm forgetting something all the time.
Yeah, you feel more organized.
Yeah So I do that. I keep a calendar as well, but like that I've been doing of recent that has been helping me a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are kind of like my things. We can link.
Yeah, we can link them.
Link the journal and the what was the other thing?
The link.
OpenPath
thing.
Yeah, the therapy thing. So those are mine.
I mean, I kind of do similar stuff, like just trying to like do something a day that I really love to help chill out. Like I do yoga.
Nice.
Every morning and every night.
Yeah.
Also, I have really tight hips.
Oh.
So it helps.
Yeah.
Like stretching and stuff.
That's good.
I mean, there's not really much. I try to, like, keep the same, like, therapy coping strategies that I use.
Yeah.
I haven't been doing it lately.
Yeah.
Also, we haven't been in therapy in a hot minute.
Since this time last year.
Yeah. So, like, I'm getting, like, a little bad on remembering to actually keep up with them.
Yeah.
And I need to get back into that. But, like, I just try to take it day by day.
Yeah, same. That's also another thing. Like, I was like, explaining it to Judah recently. I'm like, it doesn't feel like I have really anything to look forward to because everything's so uncertain with Dougie saying that we're going back. Everything's kind of up in the air. And then, like, I don't feel like I have anything to look forward to right now. So it almost doesn't feel like life is real. Almost.
Yeah, it kind of feels like Sims. And my Sim character is just, like, very, like, stagnant.
Yeah, because, like...
I'm just chilling.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm not working. I'm not... Like, I'm doing stuff in other ways. But, like, the fact that I'm not working and then also no gym, those are, like, two major things that I'm just, like... I don't know what's happening. Like, I feel like I can't really plan anything when it comes to those two things. Because... I don't know what's going on with the world.
I know. It's the uncertainty of stuff that makes me really nervous.
Yeah.
And I try not to think about it.
Yeah.
Because it just makes me spiral and I get worse.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, like recently, every time I open Twitter, bam, something negative. I'm like, nope.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's always negative news. Like, I went onto Twitter, Betty White's dead.
Oh, shout out to Betty White. Let's just give a little...
Such a legend.
Wow.
She was so funny in the
She
proposal.
was so funny. I loved her. I love her so much. And I was so sad to hear. Right before she turned 100,
Literally
too.
right before.
Oh, makes me sad.
Yeah, but Twitter can just be so negative sometimes.
Mine's not really like that.
God, mine is.
Mine hasn't been like that of recent, though.
No?
No. But I'm not on it that much. Like, I just go on and I kind of scroll past a bunch of stuff, and then I see, like, one funny thing, and I'm like... and then I send it to people. I did, like, kind of a negative tweet yesterday.
Oh, when I'm like, who you talking shit about?
Yeah. Yeah, Jason messaged me, too, and was like, at the person so I can...
I know. I was like, what's this tea?
Yeah, but really it was just something that happened a while ago
it's
to me.
Expired tea.
Yeah, I just needed... I was just thinking
out.
about it, so I was like, oh, if I tweet about it, I'll get it off my chest.
Yeah, that's why I put on my Instagram last night about the mailman.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was thinking about it, I'm like...
Yeah. I also just, like, wish I had the guts to say that at the time.
Oh, to them?
Yeah, when it happened, because I didn't say anything. Like, I just let it slide.
Yeah.
Because this person was being, like, super passive-aggressive to me. Basically the tweet was, I may be a basic bitch, but I'm okay with that. Are you okay with being a pretentious try hard
Something hippie.
Yeah, virtue signaling hipster.
They're the worst kind.
Yeah, that was what I had said. Because
they're
this
all
person
soft.
who was exactly that had called me a basic bitch. And it was, like, very passive-aggressive, like, jokingly calling me a basic bitch. But you know when, like, somebody says something, you know it's coming across as, like, a negative thing? And I was just like, okay.
You're like, no.
I was like, because I like things that lots of other people like, okay. Whatever.
I don't know why people shit on other people for stuff like that.
I also, like, already know that I am that. So, like,
why
like
try?
I said, like, I'm okay with being a basic bitch because I enjoy things that lots of other people enjoy. It makes sense. Like, sorry,
She's not like other girls.
I'm not a hipster who wants to cry in my room and listen to vinyl and, like, tweet about existential crises and stuff like that. Like, it's
that's
not...
everyone in Kensington.
That's not my vibe. And I love Kensington, but that's not my vibe.
Which is fine.
I can be a basic bitch who loves Kensington.
Also, those girls who, like, think that they're, like, not like other girls and they listen to vinyl, calm down.
I mean, I listen to vinyl, but that's because those are my soundtracks.
Yeah. But, like, some people are out here buying, like, new albums on vinyl for like $40.
Or old albums. They're buying old albums that like
Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
You're so edgy, girl. You're so edgy.
And like if you do that, you do you. I don't give a fuck.
But don't make it your personality.
But also don't hate on me for liking things that many other people like. There's a reason why so many people like them.
Did she point out something?
It was something, I'm pretty sure it was my music interest, because I like Ariana Grande, I'm pretty sure.
So Ariana Grande's amazing.
So she was like, you like Ariana Grande, like jokingly, and I was like, yeah, I do. And this was like when Seven Rings and that whole album came out.
Oh.
And then I was like, yeah, I do. Like, this song is fucking banger. Like, what do you mean? Like, I also
you
like
enjoy it.
Some of the songs on that were just fitting perfectly for what I was going through in my life at the time. Like, I just like loved that album. I also loved the most recent album. I was in her like top like 1% of listeners or something this year. So like I love her and I listen to her music a lot. So does a stadiums full of people all over the world. And
She's popular.
This girl was like, "Oh, you're such like a basic bitch, kinda," and I was like, "And."
God, I would have thrown hands.
Like, she full on was just like...
That was like when we were in high school and people would make fun of us for liking One Direction, but like now they're all up Harry's ass.
Yeah, like
no.
Yeah. Like, I just don't... I like what I like, and I don't think, like, people... And, like, who gives a fuck? Like, me liking Ariana Grande doesn't affect you whatsoever.
I don't get it.
Like...
This actually reminds me of something. I went on a date this one time with this guy, and we were talking about our music interests, and he obviously is an edgy type, and he likes the screamo type, which I don't really like, but like I like bands like, they're not screamo, but they're like edgy to me, like A Day to Remember, and like Pierce the Veil. And I brought up, I'm like, oh, like I like these type of bands, and he's like, you like those type of bands? He's like, you don't really seem like the type. I'm like, well, what's the type that to you?
Yeah.
He's like, well, you just seem like you like bubblegum pop, and like, or like your hardest band you like is 1975. I'm like, don't come at my music.
Also, like, even if that was the case,
it doesn't matter.
Who cares?
Like, I'm not out here listening to edgy screamo.
You can listen to whatever you want to listen to. You can like whatever you want to like. Like, another thing, when I was hanging out with the girls were like, we were playing this game, and one of the things was like, what's something that people wouldn't necessarily like guess that you like, or that something like that, just by looking at you. Something that people wouldn't know just from looking at you and would be surprised about. And I couldn't really think of anything because I'm pretty forward about everything. But then Sarah was like, anime. She's like, I never would have thought you'd be so into anime that you, like, as you are.
Yeah.
She's like, especially just like looking at you, because you obviously like aren't like you don't dress or like act necessarily as like somebody who's super into anime. She's like, yet you really like anime, like things like that. Whereas like, or like I'm not good at video games, but I like them. At least the ones that I can play, like I do enjoy them, and I enjoy them a lot more than I thought I would. Or like if somebody wears like a shirt, like a band tee. If somebody wears a band tee of somebody they don't know, honestly, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I really don't.
I hate the people that somebody wears a band tee that they don't know. I mean, I don't know why you would wear a band tee of somebody you don't know, but like some of the old Rolling Stones shirts are fucking sick. Yeah. So like,
then someone will be like, name 3 songs.
I hate that.
Name 3 songs off Hidden Tracks.
I hate those people. Like, fuck off. Let me live my life. Like if I wear a Naruto shirt and I go out and somebody's like, oh, I really like your shirt, I'm like, thank you. Like, I appreciate it. But if somebody's then like, what's this person's blah, 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 even though I've seen the whole goddamn show, I might not remember what specific thing that they're talking about is. Like, I don't, like...
It's a bit much.
Yeah, but like sometimes if like people are like, oh, I really liked this part, like what did you think, or stuff like that, like that's one thing. It's when you're like quizzing somebody on it that I'm like,
because you want to catch them out, and make them look stupid.
Yeah, like
I've never done that, and I never will.
I hate that so much. It drives me crazy. when people do that. Who cares? Really, who cares?
Yeah.
Let the person live their life.
I don't get it.
So if you're one of those people,
stop it.
Stop. I'm looking directly into the camera
it's
right
gross.
now. If you are one of those people, just stop it.
Get some help. Get some help.
But yeah, I just don't like those people. I think you should just let people do whatever the fuck they want. Unless it's, like, obviously harming somebody. Like, somebody wearing a Rolling Stones t-shirt is not harming Rolling Stone fans at all. If anything, they're probably helping you out. Free billboard right there.
They're helping the streams.
Yeah.
It's more than likely boomers aren't out here streaming on Spotify.
There you go. So
they may be.
Maybe they are.
Maybe they are. But maybe they're not.
Yeah.
So
I don't think my grandma's out here streaming, but...
My mom's not out here streaming. She's not even a boomer. She's a Gen X.
That's after Boomer?
Yeah.
Is that the direct one after Boomer?
Honestly, I don't know.
Does it go Boomer, Gen X, Millennials, and then Gen Z? I think so.
I think so.
I don't know.
Where's Millennials?
Where's Millennials? Yeah, because we're right in the middle. We're like...
I'm not a millennial.
I don't know what I am.
What am I?
I'm having an existential crisis.
Because, like, I have Gen Z humor.
No, yeah.
But I also didn't eat Tide Pods.
True. Like, there's bits of each one that I'm just like, no.
Yeah, but I also wasn't obsessed with Friends, which is more of the millennial side.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
But that makes sense, actually. Yeah.
So it's like, I'm a little both. But I also had Webkings.
I don't think I'm a sitcom person.
Yeah, I'm... The only sitcom person I am is New Girl.
I like New Girl, too.
And Brooklyn Nine-Nine sometimes.
I tried it. I watched the first 2 episodes and
Andy
couldn't.
Samberg annoys me a little, and you get him mixed up with the guy that you hate. Jesse Eisenberg.
No, I get Jesse Eisenberg and...
With Michael Cera.
Michael Cera mixed up.
What a sweet
Let's
man.
be real, they look the fucking same.
They're like different versions of each other.
They're not different,
They're
though.
different fonts.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
it's like...
Michael Cera is cursive.
I was going to say italic, but yes, yeah.
Okay. Jesse is Arial bold.
Jesse's boring as fuck. I hate Jesse. He's such an asshole. Like, I don't even care if he's fucking watching this right now. Like, fuck Jesse Eisenberg. He's such an asshole.
He is quite pretentious.
Yeah, go fuck himself. Like, Jesse, why? Because you're an actor who's also
He's an
ugly?
actor.
Like, what? Like, get out of here,
He's
Jesse.
He's the guy in Social Network, right?
I think so, yeah.
Of course he'd be playing the Zuck.
Yeah, I also don't like him either. I swear
He's an alien.
He's a robot. He's either a robot or an alien. He's one or the other. I swear.
Did you see the thing where he made the AI program and he's like, he put himself in Haiti or somewhere that recently had an earthquake. And he's like, look at the town. Isn't it gorgeous? And it's just crumbled.
Oh my god.
Jesse.
Did you see the one where, I think it was him, where he puts himself in and he's on a talk show and he gives himself tits?
Like, ooh.
I love it.
Do you guys want to see something?
Like, you know he's been playing around with it. Like,
I bet he plays around with it when his wife isn't home.
Is
he married?
Yeah. With a kid, I think. He's for sure not human? Real. Like, he's not a human.
People don't think the Queen's real either.
I think the Queen's dead.
Yeah, I think she's dead.
I think she's dead. When was the last time we saw her?
I haven't seen her in
Tell
a
me.
minute.
Tell me when we last saw her in public.
I actually don't know.
Exactly. Probably for Philip's funeral.
She probably died that night.
Probably, yeah.
My mom was so distressed.
But, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We just kind of wanted to update you on our anxiety and depression. We're doing our best here. So
yeah, we don't have like a setup.
Yeah, we have
full setup.
Pretty straightforward, basic as fuck setup. So hope you're enjoying it. You know,
we don't have a DSLR. DSLR?
We don't have anything for real. Like, to be
We're running
honest,
low on toilet paper.
I mean, that's not what I'm talking about. I meant more tech-wise, we don't have anything. But, hopefully in 2022, the goal is to have better tech things. So
yeah, that is the goal.
Keep your eye out. If the quality suddenly gets better, you'll know why.
Is it eye or is it eyes?
Pardon?
When you say keep your eye out, is it one eye?
Yeah. You know,
okay.
Your other eye can look at other things.
Keep your eye out.
Yeah, keep one eye.
The other one's out for Selena.
Yeah. But yeah, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe.
All that jazz.
We're on YouTube. We're not on OnlyFans.
We're on OnlyFans now, guys. I'm so excited.
OnlyFans.
That's so funny. Can you leave that in?
So funny.
Can you leave that in? We're on OnlyFans.
We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram.
We're on Brazzers.
Spotify. We're not on Brazzers. Fuck. Man, that was a Freudian slip if I've ever heard one.
That's funny.
YouTube, Spotify,
Podbean,
Instagram,
TikTok.
Let us know if you want a Twitter, but yes, and TikTok.
Facebook.
At Hi Friends. We're not on Facebook.
We are, but we're not.
Are we?
We have a page.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I made it a while ago.
The more you know.
I don't really care for Facebook, so.
Me neither.
I might delete it.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, let us know if you want us to get a Twitter. I think Twitter would be way better than Facebook.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. But you know what to do. Do all that. You can find me at itsmeshay.xx.
Annie X Mirror.
There you go. That's all you need to know. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.
Down, yeah. I've been feeling so down, yeah. Can you tell me why? Can you